You want to know how I went from broke to being stuck to building a better life? I set boundaries. Boundaries that people absolutely hated. Hated. It's a bit too much. But you know what? Those boundaries are what led me to success and got me out of poverty. I want to define what a boundary is first before we get into it. A boundary is not a request. A boundary is something that you set that requires nothing from someone else. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what I did and how you can set boundaries to get you to a better place in your life so you can reach success too. But before we dive in, if you're a father, husband, or just a man in general, and you're about leveling up, this is the channel for you. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any new content. All right, let's get into it. The boundaries I had to set in order to break out of poverty were I did not drink, I stopped caring about other people's problems, I stopped trying to fix people, and I did not lend people money. But here's the thing, these boundaries might not work for you. Everyone has their own unique set of values and goals. And I'm gonna teach you how to set your own goals and set your own boundaries. So number one, I did not drink. I grew up around a lot of people who lived their life in the bottom of a bottle. They was pouring up on the weekends. They was pouring up during the day. They was pouring up in class. They was pouring up. I said, you know, drinking is for people who have the time and money to be dumb. I didn't have that. I didn't have time or money to be dumb, so I did not drink. And I remember family, I remember friends, I remember just people being around. They got in so much trouble drinking. When you're in poverty and you're trying to make it out, you getting a DUI on your record, you getting into a fight because you was drunk, you going to jail because you were drunk. That could be the difference between all of your hard work being gone, vanished, poof. It's not worth it. I remember one time, me and a friend, we were chilling with some females, and they had a bottle. They had a bottle, and they wanted us to drink. I said, I don't drink. Oh, come on, drink. You're with beautiful women. I don't give a damn if I'm with Jesus. I'm not drinking. Now, I know there's some people, well, Jesus wouldn't drink around you. You get what I'm saying? Ever since I could remember, I was cheap. I believe that when I came out my mom, I was so cheap that I said, give me my umbilical cord. That's mine. I want that. Y'all not getting nothing from me. Okay? I've always been cheap. So not lending people money was not really a problem. Here's where the problem came in at. As you start to progress in life, as you start moving away from poverty, the further and further away you get, and the people that you're around, maybe they're staying there, they're not progressing as fast, they start to say things like, you've changed. You've switched up. Now, luckily, I didn't really have to deal with that because I didn't change and I didn't switch up. I always was cheap. As a matter of fact, there was an ongoing joke in my family that I would never be able to find a girlfriend or a wife because I wasn't willing to pay for anything. And I remember around 18, 19, I was going on this date with a girl. And before the date, I said, I just want to make sure you know you're going to have to pay for you to get into the movies and for your own snacks. I just want you to know that before we go in there. You know, the way I looked at it, like I'm already picking you up. I'm already spending gas money to go get you. The least you could do is pay for your own ticket. And I meant it. And I remember getting to the movies and looking at her, and she thought that I would change my mind. I made sure she went first. Here, go get your ticket first. Go get your ticket first, because I'm not trying to pay for mine, and you talking about you ain't trying to go because I'm not paying. Get your ticket first. All right? So she went and got her ticket first, went into the movies. After the movies, she talking about, I want to go to the park. That's gas money. Do you got gas money for the park? Then we going to take you home. You lucky you not paying for gas on your trip home. I'm not like that no more. Like, I'm not like that with my wife. I've grown out of it a little more. But I had to be cheap to the extreme when I was in poverty. Because when you don't have money for yourself, you don't have money for other people. As I started to make a little more money coming out of poverty, they would still ask a little bit. As you're moving out of poverty, you still have to have boundaries because, and this is what really changed my mindset, not just from being cheap, but being mindful with my money. I saw where, when I was researching racism and stuff like that, it was saying, hey, look, There was discrimination between black and white people, and the black and middle class had different challenges. But one of the main reasons that black people were not able to take advantage of being middle class when they had a college education was that they tried to go and help everyone that was still struggling. They tried to go and help those family members that weren't making enough money. They tried to go back and help. And that stood out to me because it's like, wait a minute, it got me thinking, why can't you provide for yourself? What decisions did you make to get you here? And now I'm not saying never help anybody, but what I am saying is you need to be in the position to help them. So draw that boundary in the line. Next boundary was I was selfish with my time. I started treating my time like ice cream at McDonald's. It was rare. It was rare you were gonna get some. I was just being real. It was rare. I was either studying, I was focused on my classes, I was focused on a project, or I was focused on working and making money. Here's what happened with my time. I answer a phone call, and now you want to talk about your boyfriend and how this and that, and I answer the phone call and you talking about you done spent all your money on something and can I give you advice? And I would love it. I was feeling needed, but I wasn't protecting my time. And then the mental energy it takes to keep on giving your time away, giving your time away, giving your time away. When I drew that line in the sand and said, I'm going to protect my time, it made it so much easier for me to say, no, I'm not going to go here. I'm not going to go to this party. I'm not going to go do this. I'm not going to your birthday. I'm not going to go here. I'm not going to answer your phone calls. And guess what? People will get upset. Oh, you changed. You switched up. Mr. College Boy now. Mr. College Boy working on his degree, he switched up. You damn right I switched up. I switched on the light and I saw that y'all wasn't worth my time, so I'm not going to keep investing time in your stuff, in your situations. And I'm not talking to anybody in particular because I be making these videos and people hit me up like, were you talking about me? Probably. Now, I don't know. When I make content, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking about my life. Okay, please. I'm just trying to make content. I stopped caring about other people's problems. I know that sounds mean, but I stopped caring about other people's problems. Because what would end up happening is I wanted to be a savior. See, when I moved out the house, I was like, you know what? I want to go out in the world and I want to do something to lift my family up out of poverty. I want to help everybody. I want to be that guy. But I never questioned why we were in poverty to begin with. It was just, we're in poverty. We're struggling financially. We're going through this. We're going through that. We're always moving. We're doing all these things. I just want to help. But then what ends up happening is you realize you're on this path where you're trying to progress. You're trying to fix everybody else. You're trying, oh, you weren't able to pay your bills. Oh my God, let me try to go and work and pay your bill. You weren't able to do, you need a ride here. Oh my God, let me do this. You ain't got gas money. No, I could front you. I loved it. I loved it at first because I'm a problem solver. I'm a natural born problem solver. Here's how my mind thinks. There's a problem and there's a solution. And then there's the action that you take in between. And if I tell you what to do in between, that should be it, right? Like the problem solved. But here's how things happen. Hey,
hey man, look, I ain't got the money for my bills this month. And what happened was I got my check, but there were some shoes that I wanted, and I bought the shoes, and now I can't pay my light bill. What should I do?
And me being the problem solver I am, okay.
So you got your check, you bought some shoes that were too expensive, Don't buy those shoes no more, don't do that. Pay your bills first. Okay, good, problem solved.
2 weeks later.
Hey man, I got my check, and yeah, so, you know, I've been trying to quit smoking. I've been doing good. I only smoked the 8th this week. You know, I usually smoke a quarter. I only smoked the 8th of weed this week, and I spent too much on the weed, and I can't pay my bills.
I was taking time away from my own problems. I was taking time away from what I needed to solve in my own life. And when I stopped caring about other people's problems, what I realized is that they went somewhere else, they were able to solve them, or they weren't able to solve them, and they're stuck where they're at. But it's not my problem. I was making their problems my problems. I would try to motivate people and push them, go solve the problem, go push them. And it wasn't working. When I stopped doing that and set that boundary, like I'm not solving any more problems unless I'm getting paid or I'm benefiting from it. I wanted to solve people's problems. You can't solve no one else's problems. You have to empower them to be able to solve their own problems. And sometimes that means saying, hey, you're on your own. So I want to challenge you right now. Think about your biggest goal. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And what is that boundary you know you need to set? What is that thing that you keep compromising on? Where you know that if you weren't compromising on this, you'd be able to get much further. Are you lending somebody money because you feel bad for them and they keep on asking? And here's another boundary I set. Let me get up closer. I stopped feeling bad for people. I stopped feeling bad for people. That's just a side note. Whatever your situation is, I want to challenge you to think about your goal, think about that boundary you need to set, and then set it and track it and make sure you understand that that boundary is there to protect you. It's not there for other people to respect. It's for you to protect yourself. It's a force field. Your boundaries are force fields, and they allow you to keep out what's against you and keep in what is for you. Listen, setting boundaries aren't about being a bad person. They're not about being an a-hole. They're not about making it to where people think that you're better than them. It's not about being arrogant. It's about you standing in your purpose and saying, here's what I want out of my life, and here's what I need to keep in to get it, and here's what I need to push out to get it. You only have one life. You have one life. And you can't do everything. You can't help everyone. You can't solve everyone's problems. So there are some boundaries that you're going to have to set. These are the boundaries that I set, the main ones. Of course, there are many more, but these are the main boundaries that I set that got me to a place of success, pulled me out of poverty when I can look back and see all of these people that are still in it. And do I feel bad about it? No, I don't feel bad about lifting myself out of poverty. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing that hurts to say, but needs to be said. As much as you want to help everyone else, as much as you want to solve their problems, no one is waking up day in and day out trying to solve your problems and lift you out of poverty, trying to get you to the middle class, the upper class, trying to get you to that 100K a year, trying to get you to that $1 million a year, trying to put a roof on. No one is doing that. Maybe your situation is different. Maybe your situation is different, but for most people, you have to do it yourself, man. And the only way you're going to do it is by setting those boundaries clear, concise, thorough, and standing on business. Ready to set some boundaries? Let me know in the comment section. Comment one boundary that you're trying to set but struggling with. I'll try to give you some tips. I'll try to add value, and maybe I'll make some follow-up videos on how to set boundaries in a little more detail. Hey, if you're still watching this video at this point, I assume I'm saying some things you like. So go check out Father Flex. They sell Father Flex gear where it's designed for fathers who want to be healthy for their family. Powerful, powerful mission. We need more powerful men, more powerful fathers to be in their children's lives and to be healthy. And ultimately, that's what that brand is about. Go check out fatherflex.com. Information is in the description. Go check out the gear designed for fathers who want to be healthy for their family. And I'll see y'all in the next video.